Hi there, Zamir for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 3, Old Feuds and Rival Bloods, I think. Damn, I might have got the name wrong, I do apologise. But let's just get on with the episode, shall we? Now, what I liked about this episode was there was so much going on at the same time, there was so much build-up. We had at the beginning of this episode just two rival factions, just young lads, maybe playing in the park if it was today's age, couple of gangs maybe, who knows. And they seem to have their alliances drawn in sand. One is on the black side, one's on the green side. They're arguing a little bit. And before a fight actually kicks off, we see the aftermath of that fight. And one of the young lads dead with a fucking knife through his throat. I don't know exactly what kind of happened because of all of that, but regardless, it does lead up to the rest of this episode rather nicely. We see Daemon Targaryen looking for an army, trying to build more alliances for his side because they don't have King's Landing, and compared to the opposition, the Greens, they are quite a small contingent. So he goes to Harrenhal. And this is like a spooky looking castle. And he goes there looking for his army. And he does find the leader of Harrenhal, who's very happy to bend the knee and pledges allegiance to the black side. And all this time, Daemon is almost looking for a fight, so to speak, and he's wondering if his food's poisoned or whatever. And he has some really weird moments in this episode. Like I think he has a dream sequence or an hallucination or something. And we see a very young Rhaenyra, this time played by Millie Alcock, sewing the head back on of the young Prince Daenerys, I think his name was. And obviously this is the person that Daemon didn't mind having been killed if they couldn't kill the king. But in a way, it almost made it seem like Daemon was feeling some sort of guilt for killing this kid. And I don't think that's necessarily who Daemon is, or if there's more to his character than we realize. And I'm kind of surprised that he would feel guilt for this, if he was feeling guilt, which is why he had this haunting dream. Regardless, there was supposed to be this army at Harrenhal, and the only person we saw of any form of military regarding an army, Daemon dealt with him very quickly and just knocked him out with a headbutt. So I don't know what this new contingent is going to hold for Daemon. If they do have a military, we'll see, I guess. Kristen Cole wants to start a infiltration expedition. When it comes to maybe retaliation, now he's the hand of the king, and we do see a moment when Aegon and his crew are all sitting around the table discussing things, and Kristen gives his advice, and because of that, he goes out. The king does want to go with him initially, but is advised that he shouldn't. But we do have Alicent's younger brother, or I think maybe older brother, it's hard to bloody tell, go with Kristen instead. And he's a bit cocky, mentioning how his dad, Otto Hightower, has been the hand of the king for the last 3 generations, and now this guy's in charge. You can tell there was a little bit of a feud. He probably maybe even knows that his sister's fucking this guy as well, so it's very funny. But I'll tell you what, mentioning his father, Otto Hightower, it does make you realize how badly the actor Rhys Ifans is missed in this episode, because he's a phenomenal actor, and the character Otto Hightower is a great character too. So wherever he may be, I hope we get to see him again pretty soon. And when it comes to the blacks, they, with a retaliation on the cards, Rhaenyra basically has to hide certain members of her family, knowing that they could be targeted, and that was a sad moment for her. And she sends over some eggs as well, because they'll probably try to loot as well as kill members of her family. So some dragon eggs. are also taken away with her children, who are gone somewhere, hidden somewhere, so to speak. One of the other Targaryens, I think it may be one of Corlys's daughters. I think it's so hard to tell now because there's so much ancestral shit going on. You don't know who the fuck is whose daughter, and maybe it's Daemon's daughter. I don't fucking know. I really don't, But regardless, she's on a dragon and she's flying around, and she sees something shining as she's flying around, and she scoops down to investigate, and she sees it's Kristen Cole and all his contingent, and they do a bit of a Lord of the Rings, and they hide in Fangon Forest, to get away from the dragon before the dragon, bleats out a breath of fire. It was a cool little action scene, so to speak, and a nice moment where Kristen Cole basically puts Alicent's brother in his place because he wants to go to some sort of inn or tavern. So inn or tavern, so to speak. Maybe hook up with some chicks or whatever, have a drink and all of that sort of stuff. But now the blacks know that the greens are out, abroad. Any notion of going to a tavern is no longer possible because the opposition are going to check for them in places like that. And that was a cool moment when Kristen Cole told Alicent's brother, no fucking inns. It was great. Now, Rhaenyra, she does want to come to some sort of peace. She's been advised by her largely male council. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to send out the dragons. We need to do all of this shit. And she's not really into all of this. She's not really into this eye for an eye bollocks. And what she really wants to do is speak to Alicent. And there's a really good moment in this episode where after making alliances with this this whisperer woman, the White Worm, I think she's known as. She figures out a way to get to meet Alicent in King's Landing. Just them two on their own, even though she's the Queen Mother, so to speak. She's able to find a way of meeting Alicent on their own by dressing up as a nun. Those shame nuns from Game of Thrones. Yeah, she does that. And because the Queen, Alicent's a little bit of a religious person, she catches her in a church on her own, dressed up as one of these nuns. It's a good way of assassinating her in the future, by the way, which is probably what Alicent realizes. So I don't think this scenario is ever going to happen again. But she catches the Queen on her own, and Rhaenyra is dressed up as a nun, and they have a chat. And it's really, really interesting what they talk about, because they both don't want war, but they're both in charge, so to speak. Definitely Rhaenyra is in charge because she considers herself to be the queen, whilst Alicent being the queen of the king, the queen mother of the king, that is. Sorry, this little girl here is she's really peeing me off, aren't you, baby? You just want to nibble on me, don't you? Don't you, my darling? I'm going to have to put you over here. Okay. Because being the queen mother of the king, being the mother of the king, she's pulling strings as well. But what Rhaenyra is really trying to do is explain to Alicent, listen, you need to know who the rightful heir to the throne is, and it's me. And Alicent said, well, look, I know what your father might have said to you, but he said to me this particular thing. And Rhaenyra is able then to determine that what she said to Alicent, what the king at the time said to Alicent, was the Song of Ice and Fire before he died. And it's really hard to explain this, but I think in a way Alicent kind of realized that she misunderstood what the king was saying, and she only heard what she wanted to hear. And then the realization was that she made a mistake, and this mistake has cost a lot of lives. A lot of people have fucking died. There's been division, and there's no going back from this. So much so, she instead of acknowledging the mistake, she runs away. And Rhaenyra being all alone in King's Landing in fucking in a part of the world where if she does get caught, it's the end of this feud, so to speak, possibly. We see her just sitting at in this church all alone, whilst Alicent runs away from what she should be doing now, is ending the feud and saying, Rhaenyra is the rightful queen. She knows Rhaenyra is the rightful queen now, but she won't accept it because she wanted to believe what she wanted to believe before her husband died, the late king, and now she realizes the actual truth, that all he was telling her was a story, a fable of the past. It was a really great moment, a really great way to end the episode. I loved it. I loved it. Because the truth is out there, and at the same time, it's not going to be accepted. And Rhaenyra is just, oh man, I feel sorry for her. She's the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. But she's also in the predicament where she's on the back foot. She hasn't got a large following. And the person who does know the truth will never allow the right thing to be done. It's just great. It's just great. This story is so well written. Fantastic characters. Fantastic moments. Oh, by the way, how can I forget blowjob? There was a blowjob in this fucking episode. We were talking about a woman actually sucking a man's cock for a good 2 or 3 seconds. You see it. Now, whether that cock was for real or prosthetic, whatever it may be, they tried to make it look real. It probably wasn't real, which is why they got away with it. But it looked real. I've never seen that in a television show or movie or whatever it may be. Yes, you see it in porn all the fucking time. But this was great. And the great thing is that the show is so well done that you could forget about a scene like that. If the show was not so well done, a scene like that might be the first thing you think about. But the show is so brilliant that you can do things like that, which just adds to the brilliance of the show, that says, yeah, this is next level shit. But it is. House of Dragon, for me, season 2, there's going to be a real coin toss on what is the best show of this season, of this year so far, because earlier, if you mentioned to me Shogun, without a doubt, I would say Shogun's the best television show of 2024. But if A House of the Dragon keeps maintaining this level of quality that we're only 3 episodes in, then really you could toss a coin. You really could. This season has just been fantastic. I give episode 3 a 9 out of 10. Fantastic stuff. I can't get enough of this show. It's just great. It's so well written. And woke as fuck, by the way. Wokely woke. Black and fucking knights, gay characters, loads of fucking women, strong women, female characters who are telling all these stupid guys what to fucking do. It's so fucking woke and so fucking brilliant at the same time. You got to love it. You can be extremely woke and not fucking go broke when you fucking write material like this. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know. Look, she's back. She just can't get enough of me. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of, and leave a comment below and let me know what you think of this episode. Take care now. Bye bye.